The bar was half empty, filled with the usual drunks, bounty hunters, and off-duty freighter crews. Neon lights buzzed dimly overhead, flickering like dying stars. I stirred my drink with a bent metal straw, the ice clinking against the sides like tiny distress beacons. It was just another miserable evening on Vorn Station, a rusted-out orbital dump circling a forgotten mining moon. My name's Caleb Marin, ex-engineer, ex-hero, ex-husband. It had been 6 years since the war ended, and about 5.5 since Salari walked out of my life. Tall, regal, silver-skinned, with eyes like twin stars and a voice that hummed through bone and blood, Salari had once been my entire galaxy. She was a Zenthari, a warrior caste alien who defied her empire to marry a human engineer. We fought together, laughed, bled, and when the war was won, we couldn't hold the pieces together. Different species, different expectations, too many scars. I hadn't seen her since, until tonight. It began with a distant siren wailing through the station. Everyone ignored it. Vorn Station's security system was so ancient it screamed wolf every other day. But when the siren shifted to a repeating computerized voice, imminent biohazard, evacuate. This is not a drill. People started looking at each other. A second later the lights went out. Panic. Chairs screeched, boots stampeded, and the room became a swirl of shouts and curses. I remained seated. Something cold and still had rooted itself in my chest. Then came the thump. Not an explosion but something arriving. A tremor ran through the floor. Glasses fell from shelves. And then, the bar's front entrance exploded inward. Out of the smoke walked a monster, 8 feet tall, plated in chitinous black armor. Its jaw unhinged in 3 sections, and its 4 arms twitched with feral speed. A Zarn predator. Bioengineered assassin from the old war. Something no one should have. People screamed. Blasters were drawn, but it moved like a shadow. A soldier at the entrance fired a shot, then was flung like a rag doll against the ceiling. Others ran. I couldn't move. I knew who it was here for. Me. The beast turned, its lidless yellow eyes locking onto mine. I pushed up from the table, heart hammering. But I wasn't fast enough. And then, before it could pounce, the ceiling cracked open. A blur of silver dropped from the vent, landing between me and the creature. The entire room froze. Caleb, came a familiar voice, low and resonant. Move! And blinked. It was her. Ori, my ex-wife. Clad in polished Zenthari battle armor, twin plasma scythes ignited in her hands, crackling with white-blue arcs. Her silver crest was braided back in the warrior's braid, the one she swore never to wear again. Everyone else screamed and ran. The monster lunged. Celery met it head-on. Middle. The clash was cataclysmic. Her blades met the Zarn's claws in a flurry of sparks and shrieking metal. She moved like liquid lightning. Graceful, lethal, terrifying. I stood frozen, ducking only when a spinning tail nearly lopped my head off. Move, Caleb! She barked again mid-duel, slashing low and carving a glowing wound in the creature's thigh. That got my legs moving. I scrambled behind the overturned bar, keeping low as the 2 titans fought above. Plasma scorched the floor. The Zarn bellowed in frustration, snapping its jaws in fury. It was stronger, heavier, but Salari was faster, more precise. Still, she wasn't invincible. A blow caught her in the ribs. She staggered. Salari! Yelled. She recovered just in time, rolling under another swipe and driving her blade deep into its abdomen. With a scream, the Zarn reeled back, and then she leapt, landing on its shoulders, blades crossed around its neck. Zenthari oath blade strike, she whispered. For what you did on Rallus 4. With a twist and a flash of light, the monster's head separated from its body. Silence. Only the crackle of her blades as they powered down. She turned to me. I stared at her, dumbstruck. "Why?" was all I could whisper. "Why the hell are you here?" She looked down at the body. "Because they sent that for you. Which means they'll send more." I rose shakily. "You didn't answer me." Her eyes met mine, still glowing faintly in the dark. "Because I'm not ready to let you die yet." Flashbacks and conflict. We escaped the bar as security bots swarmed the scene. Salari led me down forgotten maintenance corridors, moving with purpose. She had changed, hardened, colder. And yet, she still moved in front of me when danger loomed. In the abandoned shuttle bay, I finally demanded answers. "You left 6 years ago. No message, no call. And now you show up to save me from a Zarn assassin." She looked at me with a storm behind her eyes. "I left because your people called me a war criminal. Because your government didn't want a Zenthari general testifying in the Rebuilding Council. And because you," she hesitated, "you didn't stop them." I opened my mouth, closed it. It was true. I'd been afraid. Afraid of what my own people would do to me. Of being labeled a sympathizer. Of losing my job. My reputation. "I'm sorry," I said quietly. "I thought I was protecting you by not fighting back. I didn't know what else to do." "Doesn't matter now," she said. "Someone wants you dead. And they've acquired old Zarn biotech. Which means this goes higher than black market thugs." "But why me? I'm just an ex-engineer." She reached into her pack and tossed me a small, triangular object. "I intercepted a comm relay. You designed this 6 years ago. A fail-safe device hidden in your mining drone schematics. One that can override planetary AI defense systems. Your old company buried it." And blinked. I forgot about that. It was just a theoretical design. "Someone remembered," she said. "And now they think you're the key to cracking planetary shields. So they send a living weapon after me?" She nodded. "And more will follow. Unless we get off this station now." Ding. We made it to her stealth ship just as sirens screamed again. Vorn Station was locking down. Salary slid into the pilot's chair, and I found myself in the co-pilot's seat without thinking. Felt weirdly normal, like muscle memory. As her fingers danced across the console, I studied her face. It was older, sharper, but still her. "Why did you really come?" I asked. "You didn't have to. I'm not your problem anymore." She sighed long and slow. "I heard your name on an intercept. I told myself I'd just pass it to someone else. But I didn't." "Why not?" Her eyes locked on mine. "Because I still care, damn you. And because there's a part of me that hoped. Maybe you did too." The ship lifted off, cloaked, and burned through the blockade in a burst of light. I looked out the viewport as stars blurred into streaks, then turned to her. "I never stopped caring, Salari. I was just too much of a coward to admit it." She gave a small, tired smile. "Good. 'Cause I'm not running anymore. And neither are you." Plug. Now I'm on the run, with my ex-wife turned bodyguard turned co-pilot beside me. We're headed to expose the conspiracy behind the Zarn weapons and the AI override plot. There's a bounty on my head, a dozen assassin species after me, and a galaxy that still thinks humans and Zenthari can't coexist. But this time I've got her at my side. And this time I'm not letting go.